Is it okay if you have your own mic?
No, I'm not used to holding my own microphone in interviews. Thank you very much.
All right.
I'm sorry.
So it's a pleasure. Lukas from Lukas Graham is here in our studios.
Servus.
Servus, nice. So you've learned some Bavarian words, right?
That is actually a Latin word.
A Latin word?
It is a Latin greeting that has been...
Seriously?
I learned that today as well, so don't...
All right. You've released a new album.
Yes.
A Purple album. It's really a great album I've listened to. And I tell you why.
Thank you.
I tell you why it's a great album. I think it's very, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's very timeless, you know? You could have made it 20 years before and you will say today, man, do you know the Purple album from Lukas Graham? It's fucking great. And in 20 years you will say, I'm still listening to the Purple album because it's a timeless album. So I'm not the biggest fan of the new development of the pop music with all the electronic influence, but you did a fucking great pop music album. You know what I'm talking about?
Thank you very much.
So why do you like this kind of music the most?
We're a big team who make this music, and it's the same guys as from the beginning. It's on the songwriting side, me, Stefano, Rizzi, and on the production side, still Rizzi and Pilo. And of course, the team has grown a little bit since the last album, and I think you can hear that also. You can hear that we've been listening to a lot of music, and we've been growing as producers and songwriters. And I like the term organic. Because a lot of people tell me, electronic music isn't real music. I'm like, it's so much real music, it's just not organic music. And that's okay. You know what I mean?
So organic, it's just piano, it's drums, some guitars, some strings, and that's...
There are a lot of real organic instruments in there. Of course there will be, it's modern music, we have some drum samples, we have some synths, we have some rumblings in the background that are computer modified. Like there are a lot of technological bits in the music. But the basic instruments is a B3 organ, it's a baby grand, it's an upright piano, it's a Fender guitar, it's a Fender bass, it's real drums, it's a real choir, and I really do believe that it transcends through the music. That not only you but other listeners, they can feel the music because it's organic.
Right. That's what I wanted to say. That's really timeless, you know. Great. Was this the music you also listened to when you were young? So was this the music what you got socialized with?
I listened to a lot of music growing up. I would call the music I listened to growing up an eclectic musical mix. Everything from folk music to rock and roll and jazz. I mean, my dad and I would listen to The Prodigy when we cooked food, you know.
Nice.
So listening to electronic music is not necessarily non-educating. I just think it's good to mix it up, and if you only listen to Mozart, you're going to become a square box that only likes Mozart. And I do believe if you're creative, you need to check out everything you're not doing also, and not just like touch your own belly all the time.
Sure. And it's a very personal album, I guess. So this is important for you that you have so many personal situations in your music. Your father right now, so was this also very important for you, that there's a big influence in your music?
Well, I don't know. I never found it difficult to be personal. I find it almost easier to be personal and honest than making up stories. I want to be honest and real because you're talking about the development in pop music. There's a lot of fast food and popcorn out there.
Right.
A lot of bubblegum music. And I'm not a fan of it. I won't say I hate it. I just don't enjoy it. It doesn't touch me. I'm not inspired. I'm not... Yeah. So because I've always written pretty autobiographical songs, of course, my daughter and me being a father takes up a lot of space on this album. But again, I didn't write a whole album about being a dad.
Sure,
and that's also very important to me, you know, that it's not like 12 love songs here. I think that would be boring.
I've seen an interview where you said that you're very happy that your daughter is more into books than into iPhones. So how will you keep it in the future? When will she get her first smartphone? Because I think in this time it's very hard for kids to grow up with iPhones or with smartphones, but it's also very complicated to grow up not with iPhones. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. And in Denmark now we are seeing the backlash. We're seeing the reactions. Because I didn't grow up with smartphones and computers. The kids that were like 5-10 years younger than me, they did. And you can see the parents now, like young parents, are changing their view towards the iPads and the smartphones and limiting their own contact with it. I just made a new kitchen in my house and I put little charging stations in a drawer in my kitchen. Mm-hmm. So when I come in the door, I can take my phone from my jacket and I put it in the drawer charging. So that you don't put it out in the open where you accidentally see someone texted you. So we're actually creating now an environment where the grown-ups in the house don't have their phones all the time. So the children don't want the phones. The thing is that children want everything the parents have. Your children don't do what you tell them to. They do what they see you doing. So you can't say no iPhone and then I check my Instagram. That is detrimental to the upbringing. And I do believe that it's becoming more like that in families. Parents are beginning to realize that your kids want to do everything you do. They want to be where you are. They want to do what you do. They want to say what you say.
But I guess sometimes for parents it's a very easy way. You know, you just give a kid their iPhone and then you have time for yourself and your partner. You know what I mean?
You know what would be easier?
Yeah.
Wear a condom.
Nice. Yeah.
No, but it's like, if you don't want kids, don't have kids.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
But sometimes you can see it. If you're in a restaurant and you see there's a family right there, and then the father just give the kid their iPhone or iPad, and then now we have, with peace.
Do you know what my father did if we acted up in a restaurant?
What?
He paid the bill and left with us before we had the food.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can't behave. Great, let's go home. No dinner.
Yeah. That's how it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, like the way we do it. We go to the restaurant. My daughter's 2 years and 2 months. It's limited how long she can sit down. It's limited how long she wants to draw. So we don't go for more than an hour. Sometimes I call and I order the food in advance, just to be sure that we're there 40 minutes, an hour. It's because it's great to go out with your kids. It's great that they learn that sometimes there are other people when we eat and you can't always get your will. But there's no point in terrorizing these kids with strict rules.
Yeah.
Children usually behave more when they're in the restaurant than they do at home. They usually are nicer in the kindergarten than they are at home. So it's good to bring them out.
All right. In your song, in your Radiohead, I Love Someone, you say that when you love someone, you're supposed to be afraid of losing the person. Otherwise, you don't love it. So this is the way I understood it. So is it that you have to be jealous in a relationship? Otherwise, you don't love the person. You just like them a lot?
I think jealousy is strangling, stifling, and killing. Jealousy is a very, very bad thing. There's a reason why jealousy is mentioned in every single religious text as being "don't envy thy neighbor."
Yeah.
Because as soon as you envy, then it's like you can become angry and bitter and you can want to steal and kill.
Yeah.
I think instead appreciation. I mean, I can get a feeling of jealousy if a guy talks to my girlfriend in a certain way, but I also get a feeling of, why wouldn't he try and hit on her? Look at her. She's intelligent, she's beautiful, she's clever, she's strong, she's cool. If she wasn't mine, I would hit on her. So it's a compliment, right?
Yeah, it is.
But I don't think that you have to be afraid to lose the people you love. All I'm saying is the way I love right now after becoming a father is that I am very well aware that I can lose the people I love. That if I'm not a good enough father, I will lose my family. If I'm not a good enough husband, I will lose my family. So this fear of losing makes me a better father. It makes me a better husband. Not in a jealous sense, but in a very logical awareness sense. I
understand. And I like your way of thinking. In your song, Everything That Isn't Me, you say, I'm sorry that I worked so much. Is it harder now to find the right balance? You know, when you have a family, you have kids. So I think when you were young, it was more easier for you to do all this kind of stuff, touring and playing music. Maybe it was not so hard for you being away from your home. But now, is it different?
I can't look at pictures of my daughter without wanting to go home. She's an amazing, strong, intelligent little girl. And she wakes up with a smile and she wants me to read books and play with Legos and She wants to, sometimes in the morning she wakes me up and says she wants to go to the bakery and get a bun with raisins in it. And it's like, you already know what you want for breakfast. I love you. Come on, let's go. And yeah, I was just gone for 16 days. I came back and she had like longer sentences, new words I hadn't heard her say before. So I'm missing so many things. Like I sing in the song Lullaby, like I'm gonna miss so many things. Yeah. And I know that your first words, a couple steps, at least we got so many left. I wish that I could be a stay-at-home dad. And I didn't miss her first words. I didn't miss her first steps. But I missed her first full sentence. I missed her saying the most difficult word in English yet she's learned is to say probably. Mm-hmm. If I ask her, are you going to have apples in the kindergarten today? She could look at me and say, probably. And I'm like, you're two. You're not supposed to say probably.
Nice. But is your wife always reporting, hey, today she said probably? And
yeah, she's trying to, and sends me little pictures. Like we moved into a new apartment in this new house, and she sent me a video where my construction guys were putting in the ovens in the kitchen, and there's a video of my daughter really looking at them very seriously, just monitoring the process. And it's just hilarious to see. She's like, it looks good. Yes. Can you put the ovens there? Thank you. So it's, yeah, I miss them every day, every second.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you're very soon to your daughter.
Yeah, I'm gonna be back tonight, but she'll be in bed. So I'll be there for breakfast.
For bakery, yeah.
I'll be there for the trip to the bakery to get the granola bolle.
All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.